lot of corrosion in there. I'm pretty happy I got this one off of eBay that's a lot cleaner looking. Hey, welcome back folks. I have a mystery project. So this is a hydraulic brake controller that came off my 69 F250. It's a Tekonsha made in the USA. It's pretty basic, it looks like. It's actuated by pressure from the master cylinder with brake fluid to actuate the electrical stuff in here. I believe this is a rheostat here, and what I really like about this is why I'm going to try to fix it. It's got a nice lever for a trolley brake instead of those little pinchy things that you have on the modern trucks. So this is the one I got off of eBay. It was the only one on there and the only one I've seen. I just checked earlier, still don't have any more of these, so I'm guessing they're kind of sort of rare. Here's the one that came off my truck. It's crusty, and you can kind of tell why I bought the one off of eBay as a parts one. So we're gonna go ahead and crack these things open and see what we can do to combine parts and make a good working one. Let's get started. All right, so I actually searched on YouTube and tried to find some kind of information of somebody rebuilding these. I got nothing. So I'm going in blind, just as much blind as you are. So let's see what's on the inside of this thing. I wonder if I gotta get this clip off here. I don't know if I have to take it off to split in half, but I'll take it off anyway. Ooh, that thing is... that did something. Wow. There's a lot of corrosion in there. I'm pretty happy I got this one off of eBay that's a lot cleaner looking. So this is not a rheostat. I think this just adjusts tension on how much that piston can push. Yeah, that would make sense. There's a piston inside of there that pushes this over. Then you have all these little contacts here, and this is set up kind of like a rheostat. I'm gonna have to look up and see exactly what it's called. So the more of these contacts that touch, basically if it just barely touches this one, there's gonna be more resistance, and it's gonna send less electricity to the brakes on the trailer. And if you actuate it all the way over to where all of these contacts touch, then it's going to be sending maximum electricity back there. So this one's really cruddy. I don't think I'm going to make that the base of the rebuild. I think I'm going to take this clean one over here and use this as the base, because that one's got a lot of junk in it. Have to go ahead and get this one cracked open. Oh, that's so much cleaner. Still a little cruddy, but way cleaner. Gotta be careful so I don't have the spring fly off. That's pretty much how it works, is that you adjust this to determine how far that piston can push and how many of these contacts can touch this big fat resistor here. All right, let's disassemble it and get it all cleaned up. This nut looks like it's permanently attached, so that's going to have to stay. This comes out. I think my biggest problem is going to be getting that piston in there freed up. Might just need to blow it out really good. The cover little lens for this LED light is broken, but I don't know if the light itself is broken. But I need to go through here and check all the electrical stuff and make sure you're getting continuity in all the places you're supposed to be getting it. All right, here's where we're at. I jumped online, I started digging and digging, and I found some posts on some old forum from 2001, and it pretty much explained everything I need to do this, and it's actually really simple. This thing's good, I already checked it, continuity is great, resistance is the right one. Black wire is the ground wire like I thought, red wire is your switched 12 volt, blue wire is obviously the wire that goes back to your trailer. And you have this little arm here that's got all these little contact points here that engage with the big resistor rheostat type thing, and all you have to do is, in this case, use about 2 cans of brake cleaner and blast it out and clean it really good, and it should work fine. And I dismantled the one on the old cruddy one, and that makes sense to me. So the only other thing that has to be done besides clean everything out is there's a little piston in here that apparently has 2 O-rings, and you got to free it up, replace the O-rings, put it back together, and you're good to go. This is the one that I want to save, so we'll set that aside, and I'm going to practice on this one to get this little cylinder and piston off of here and figure out how to get those O-rings replaced. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grip it down here where there's some threads with this little brass fitting that'll keep me from crushing anything. I'm going to gently grip it. I'm going to take this nut off. See if I can get it out of here. Oh, that's not working. Let's try sticking a crescent wrench on here. This might work, maybe. Wow. It turned a little there, but mostly turned down here. Yeah, it's all turning down here. that clip that was holding it in there. I wonder if that has something to do with getting it out. Yep, maybe. I think it will fit all the way through that way. Kind of looks like it. Yeah. So maybe that nut is only for getting that part tight. Alright, let's get this. Kind of good. I got two of these. I can practice on this one. Out of the way. I try to figure out how to get this apart. Okay, there's a little plastic piece on the end of this piston. Okay. Still looks like this nut is screwed on here somehow. I'm trying to figure out how to get it off without messing up the cylinder. Yeah, that's what it looks like. This part right here, this nut, needs to come off. I'll come right back once I figure out how to do it. Alright, I got some things sorted out. I did get the pistons out of both of these cylinders, and surprisingly the one that came in, the newer looking one, was the worst of them all. Very rusty. It took a bunch to get it out of there, but it has something on it that I actually need, and it's this little rubber cup on the end, and it's in good, supple, flexible shape. The piston that came out of the old one, which has a nice clean cylinder and a fairly clean piston, had a little rubber cup on the end that chunks were coming out. It's all dry rotted. So I'm going to use this piston and the rubber cup on this one with the old cylinder on the newer or cleaner looking brake controller. So let's go ahead and get it put together real quick. Just got to get this rubber cup off of here very carefully. There's a little bit of rust in there. Put it on the new piston. And I had thought, and on that Reddit or whatever that forum was, it said there was O-rings, and there's a couple of grooves here, but I found no evidence of O-rings whatsoever. So I don't know if that's a problem or not, but I'm going to go with it that there was no O-rings. But to make things a little bit better, this is the piston I don't want to use. It's all rusty. Here's the one that came out of the old one, the old crusty one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of grease on it, just a little bit of wheel bearing grease on it. Just a tiny bit. The way it works is it goes together like this. Right. Get that extra grease off of there. Okay. And then there's this little plastic cup that goes on the end. I might need to put that on. How do I put that? Okay, I gotta take this rubber cup off to get that on. Okay, that looks good. Put this little rubber cup back on there, slide it in the cylinder, and that should work. Need to get some of this dirt out of here. Junk. Then I got to put this fitting on here that connects the brake line. That needs a little bit of Teflon tape. Better clean my hands a little bit better. Adjust that camera a bit. Three wraps, that ought to do it, or 2.5, whatever that was. Go ahead and get this screwed into here. And I need my wrench. I messed up the threads on this a little bit in the vise trying to get it out, so just have to make it work. Oops. All right, so that's ready to go. So I took this whole unit, I blew it out the air compressor. I used probably half a can, maybe well, close to 3/4 a can of brake cleaner, and I cleaned everything out, blew everything out. Everything's looking nice and clean. So this still a little bit of crud in there. This goes through here. Then the C-clip goes on right here. And this is pre-bent, I think, because it came off like that. I think it's meant to be making this thing super tight. that's on there. Then I've got this lovely deal right here. It's got a little shaft that goes into here. Alright, but before I can actually put that in, I need to put the spring in right here. There's this little cup that goes on here. Just kind of a retainer, keeps the spring from falling out. Okay. Uh-oh, I gotta go look for the spring. It went flying. Didn't go very far. Alright, let's not do that again. Now we'll put the back cover on. Gotta get this shaft over here to line up with that hole right there. Perfect. Let's get the screws in it before everything flies apart. All right, you're gonna like the next part I'm gonna do. We're gonna bench test this thing. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up a 12-volt light bulb, basically a brake light bulb or a tail light bulb, whatever you want to call it, to the blue wire. And I'm going to hook up positive, ground, and then it'll basically go from here to a light bulb and then to ground. And I should, if this thing is set, so you screw it in, as I learned. The lighter the load on your trailer, the less brakes you need. The more brakes you need, you screw it out. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw it all the way out. Then I'm going to actuate this trolley brake here, the trolley, basically this handle, and see if I can't take that, turn that light bulb on and make it go from dim to bright. Dim down here, all the way to bright. So let me get that set up so we can test it and see if we're in business. Alright, I got things set up here. Got my little 12-volt bulb here, got some wire soldered on it, and it's hooked up to the blue wire. So this is going to be our brake indicator, basically. Put this on the negative side of the battery. Here comes the UPS truck. And there he goes. Okay, so I got to figure out how the ground works, because I can't ground it straight to the battery. It arcs and sparks. But we'll put the power lead here on the positive side of the battery, and we'll get this light bulb over here. And all you gotta do is actuate. So basically, a little bit of brake, a little more brake, a little bit more brake, and then all the brake. So I can hand brake using this trolley brake lever, or when I brake with the regular foot pedal in the truck, brake fluid pressure will come up here and push this piston, which will push this forward. So this is done. It's not going in the truck yet. I'm gonna wait until I actually redo the entire brake system. And what else am I doing? Yeah, I'm doing brake lines, I'm doing rotors, not rotors, I'm doing drums and shoes and and the cylinders and everything basically, and that's when I'll put this in. So I'm gonna set this on the shelf for right now and proceed on with other projects on this truck. But anyway, appreciate you guys watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and drop a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Laters.